we are back over here in my booth, and guys, it is time for another antique booth reset. It's been a couple months. The last reset I did was the spring reset, and I've really just been letting it settle down here in the booth since then. Kind of been like thinking about it, like what do I want to do? And nothing has really been popping up for me until there's something on my face. Until I started shopping my own inventory stash, and I started to kind of see a little bit of a theme going on. I had forgotten that I had been collecting patriotic clothing, like very 4th of July. I can do a little patriotic clothing collection, and so that was kind of the main pull to finally get me in here. I don't have a timeline for getting this done because I have a lot of stuff at home that I still need to clean and price before it can even get in here, and I really have no plan. I think this one's gonna take a while, but today what we are going to do is I actually want to get some of this more colorful inventory out of the booth. Any of the pinks, maybe some of the greens, the yellows. With the newer pieces that I have coming in, I don't feel like they'll work together as well. But I also don't want to like buy a new body of them. I've been running low on a lot of stuff. I had to order tags yesterday. Oh my gosh, I still have not ordered business cards. Thinking about that other table that's in my storage unit, that was the big table that we had at Lester Loot, and I can't help but think that would look better here than this combo. I don't dislike it. It just feels very leggy to me. Now there is the option of just moving this guy over and putting the cabinet in the middle, so it kind of breaks up how many different legs are in the picture, but it would be such a pain to get out of the storage unit though. They're getting ready to close up for the day. I'm just gonna have to sleep on this tonight and come to terms with the fact that that's probably what I'm gonna have to do tomorrow. Most of today has comprised of getting the rest of the furniture pieces out that I think need to be out, and also bringing in pretty much just this table. I was able to bring in the mannequins as well, and there's more smalls in the storage unit, Lester Loot leftovers really, that need to come in as well, but we're gonna wait until we get these furniture pieces put back into place. Tori's been bringing in a bunch of new clothing. We're combining some red, white, and blue pieces to be on this rack. Next thing I need to do is just get the furniture that I have here into place. Part of that is going to be moving this cabinet over. I need to get this table here in the center, and then I also need to shift that shelving unit over just a little more to make more room on that back wall for what I have in mind. Look intentional, and I actually like the hand design.
I liked it better.
Pride and Prejudice. Yes. Where does it land on your top 10?
7 at least.
Things are working. But we were trying to decide if we wanted it lower than where it currently is, because it's going to probably be it's going to be more under the table. Or do we want it at its current height?
It's fine.
Yeah, it's moving.
All right.
Won't be too much of a hazard, so it's loose. I think that's good.
I'm in a full back spread.
Can you walk right here?
Trying to zoom in. All right, get up there and zip tie. A lot of these aren't working.
Huh?
Was that the case before?
Maybe they're just burnt out. We didn't have a ton of time to work in here today. Well, we kind of did. It was mostly taken up by the furniture shifting, I think I took 2 more loads of furniture out of here and, brought this table in. And of course, Mike coming in and helping shifting the chandelier over was great. Definitely gonna have to be back in here tomorrow. I need to do some pricing. I haven't even begun to style the shelves and the tablescapes, so there's still a lot of work to do. But like I said before, I'm just not stressing it. I'm just gonna do one thing at a time and it'll get done when it gets done. Hopefully people can shop the 4th of July stuff over the weekend though. That's all priced, so that should be fine. We'll be back in here tomorrow. Candy literally stuck to the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mint wrappers. Oh, 6. Fantastic. And by the way, I haven't even been keeping track of all the wrappers that I have found so far. I've just been kind of sweeping and ignoring, but this one section right here, that was pretty egregious. So it is Saturday. I think it's probably around noon right now. My main objective was just to get this piece in here, which is a very narrow shelving piece. I got it, man, 4 years ago, and it's kind of difficult to style. There's not a ton of space in between shelves, and like I said, it's narrow, can't be more than like 5 to 6 inches. I think it would be great for someone's like hallway, or if they just didn't have a ton of space for shelves, but they needed some shelves. You could put books on it, small things. Honestly, it's been in our house for a little while and we've been putting shoes on it and sunglasses, so it's kind of a good catch-all piece. And it's been out of the booth for a long time, so I think it's time to reintroduce it. I'm going to bring in those 2 mid-century faux leather chairs that I had at Lesser Loot, and I kind of want to do something similar to what I did 2-3 resets ago, where I had kind of like a seating area on this side, and then I'll do art up here. What I have found when I bring in more lounge chairs into the booth in the past is people like to just chill out and sit in them, and I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I think if you're going to purchase something, you definitely want to test it out. Taking a nap in it is a little different, so I think I'm gonna wait to bring those chairs in until the very end of the reset, just because I don't want someone trying to sit and have a nap in them while I'm still trying to move stuff around, or if I was to come in and try and do some work and saw someone napping in them, I don't want to even risk it. And so I think those will be the last things that I bring in, but if you can imagine, they'll be like right here. What I want to do now is just make sure everything that I haven't priced yet has a price tag.
I was telling the lady, I said, it's a full-time job putting everything away that people leave around everywhere and leave up front.
Absolutely. I have a headache that just isn't going away, and these lights are not helping, and we got to get out of here soon anyway, so I think I'm gonna call it. I priced what needed to be priced. I kind of picked up the walkway areas just so it's semi-shoppable over the weekend. I gotta get out of here, so we'll talk again on Monday. I remembered I had a bunch of old American flags, or not a bunch, I had a few that I've just collected, and I figured I'd probably use on display eventually, or in some reset. They vary, especially in wear. So like for instance, this one right here is pretty worn, but I think it'll look really good like draped. When I first got in here, I put this one on this mannequin top because sold a shirt off of her this weekend, but this one's very beat up. It's a 76 flag, but it's pretty tattered. Also thought it'd just be really great for draping, but it kind of looks cool on her as like a tube top. And then the last one I have is pretty big. That's had some repairs done to it before. There's just something different about this blue versus this more indigo blue. It's very rich, very pretty, but 48 stars. So this guy, man, he's big. What's another option here? All right, let's try this again. Sorry for the chaos. Let me know if y'all have any questions. It's 2:49 and that just happened. God, that was pitch black. All right, I guess we're all gonna pretend like that just didn't happen. We've done all that we can do today. I love how this corner looks. This is probably the best this corner has ever looked, but I will have to come back in tomorrow and begin working on the rest of this mess. It's another day of just hanging stuff before I can start doing anything with the smalls. Decided to bring these chairs in. They're left over from the Leicester loop. A little worried about them being in here. I do have a higher price tag on them, but I'm gonna choose to trust people. I really want to get this wall finished first. I've been avoiding moving this little shelf piece over here because it's got a lot of glassware on it, and then I can move on to that wall. So I know 3 seconds ago I said I should finish doing this wall first before moving on over there, but I just thought about it and I think I have a little shelf piece that I would really like to put right there, and then maybe hang this over top. Maybe I should just, I don't know, maybe I could go ahead and hang this up, but my thought was it could just sit on the shelf. I think I'm just gonna go hang it up, get it over with. try one of these other bulbs that I have in a lamp here. See if it works. If it doesn't, then I gotta take this puppy back home and let the professional look at it. Ooh, nope, it works. It was a bulb issue. There's still a lot that needs to happen over here, but I feel like I'm leaving it in a decent spot. I'll be back in hopefully early tomorrow. We'll see if that actually works out. And they're getting ready to close here soon anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead and call it for today. Thinking about shifting this table around, like kind of maybe putting it at an angle. I don't know, we'll talk about it more tomorrow. So it is Wednesday, and I'll be honest, I forgot the freaking shelf, forgot the lettering. Ooh, I forgot a lot of stuff. So I think what I'm gonna do is, what I think I wanna do is just, every time I look at it, I get overwhelmed. Okay. Emily is also here today and working on her booth. Like, she has hit her limit. Like, what do you think of that? I like that.
She hasn't said anything more to me about it. We celebrate that.
There we go. This will also double as a shelf if you put it upside down.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So you're thinking like this?
Looks like it's two different depths depending on which way you do it. Yep. So that. And that's the skinny.
I feel bad you left your booth to help.
I didn't want to work in my booth. My booth was making me upset. Maybe higher, lower.
Maybe a little higher.
Yeah. Nice. You can do a lot of different stuff with this one.
I was thinking red, white, and blue, but I'm not. What do you think about like shorts?
I kind of like that you're just doing the shorts. I expect to be paid for each of those screws.
Each individual.
Each of those screws, you will be getting invoiced.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm just not in it today. I'm having a really hard time thinking through creative decisions and just making decisions at the moment. So I think that means I need to just go home, get some rest, write a list and pack up everything that I need to bring in for tomorrow, and then I can just get through this freaking reset. So I will see you all tomorrow.
Yes, we saw a couple of streaming services.
So I have all these old photos that I recently acquired, and I figured they would look really cool pinned up here on this cork board that I also recently acquired. You know, what I normally see people do for pricing these is like writing on them in pencil and putting a price. And I'm not against it, it's just I have like, you know, this one and like this one have like a darker background. And I also just hate writing on these at all. I did get those like plastic packs that people use for packaging ephemera. I think I got really big bags, and I don't know if I have smaller ones. Maybe I got a variety pack, I can't remember, but those would be perfect for that. Maybe I can like resize them, but do I really want to do that? No, I could probably do that. All that to say is I think I might hold off on actually pricing these until I get those bags, but I thought they looked really cool pinned up there. Did a little shifting with this table, and I feel like that definitely helps this area, and I might even do it just a little more, or at least move it that way a bit, just because we do have these two chairs here, and they are kind of deep. Like, they're not small chairs, and I'd like to get them moved out from the clothing a bit to give the other pieces in this corner room to breathe. And so I think if I can shift this table that way some more, I'll be able to accomplish that. And I also need to lay down these rugs. I want to get these rugs out of the way. That way this is a little more shoppable for the weekend. It's Thursday at the moment, but tomorrow's Friday, and you know, that's basically the weekend in retail, so.
I'm really thinking about, I have not enjoyed this.
Okay guys, it is Friday, July 4th, and it is busy in here. I probably could have avoided coming in today, but I really wanted to get the totes that I had in the storage unit, Lester Loot leftovers, and bring them in, well, unpack them, and just put the inventory out. I have all the furniture where I want it. I got my rug placement down, and I'm feeling a lot better. Obviously, there's still, we got smalls stacked on smalls, we got pillows and just things everywhere, and so even though it is looking better, it's still a little chaotic in here. I don't have a lot of time to work. What else is new? I'm just gonna try and make it shoppable for this weekend, and then we'll come back in on Monday and fix it all up. When I was getting the totes out of my storage unit, I did smell one of the candles that I had made by Salvage Bohemia. I forgot that I left in one of these totes, and it's been sitting in my unair conditioned storage unit, so I'm wondering if we'll just have a candle puddle, hopefully contained in a vessel. It's definitely in this tote. I opened it and it was just this whiff of this wonderful citrus. Ah, it's still solid, thank goodness. But I think I'm gonna take him home and just make sure, because he's completely wrapped up right now. It does look like, I just want to unwrap it. I want to make sure that all the wicks are still functional. about that. So are all the brasses. Oh, I gotta order business cards. I did end up having those packs for ephemera, and they worked so good. I think they just make it so much easier to say yes to these pieces when they're packaged nicely like this. I did have to do some sizing down, like cutting and folding, but it worked out. I'm gonna try the bigger ones at $4 a piece and the smaller ones at $3. There was a variety of prices online. Pin them right here and just see what happens. I unpacked those totes. I got them into the space. It's got a tag on it. That's what's important. And we're just gonna see what happens throughout the weekend. And because it is, you know, a holiday, I have a feeling it's gonna be pretty busy in here. Sometimes people like when the booth isn't all put together. I notice that sometimes my sales actually go up when it's in a little bit of a disarray. So we're just gonna see what happens, and yeah, I'll see y'all after this weekend. Okay guys, so it is actually Thursday today. I came in on Monday and Tuesday, but unfortunately was not able to get a ton of work done. I was, however, able to change the light bulbs and the chandelier and give it a little dust, and it is now turned back on and makes the space so much brighter. I always forget when I unplug it and then plug it back in how bright it makes this space. But anyways, over the 4th of July weekend, honestly, like what we sold was clothing. It was mostly clothing, and then 2 days ago I sold a rug that I had underneath the 2 faux leather chairs, which was a great sale. I had literally just priced it the day before. And then yesterday I sold a crossbody bag, but I was wondering which one and if it was even mine. Ooh, I think it was one of mine. That was also a good sale. I'm on a mission to get some real work done today. Honestly, the only thing we really need to worry about are the styling of these shelves and this table right here and kind of this wall. So where to start? I think what I'm gonna have to do is pull some of this stuff, well, most of the stuff off of these shelves right here, just so I can start restyling them. One quality about this unit that I really struggle with is that it does have all of those wooden slats. So some of the smaller items that have like little feet or just are just small don't necessarily sit very well on this shelf. How I'm styling it puts it in between a slat or like balancing over 2 slats. Put this runner on the bottom shelf. I was curious if laying down something other than glass like I've done before in the past would work, and doing it on this bottom shelf, it does seem to just help pieces be able to sit wherever versus having to balance it on one of the slats going across. I also have all of these old rug remnants. I'm eventually gonna do something with them, I didn't know what, but I wonder if I could maybe cover some of these shelves with the rug pieces, and that would just help me be able to balance things a little easier. I still also have a lot of inventory at home that I may or may not bring in, but I really want to see what I can accomplish with what is here first before I do that. And one thing I am noticing that I did not notice the other day, we've had something break. Awesome. It looks to be the top. It was the stopper in the top of this really pretty decanter. So now I get to make a different tag and reprice this. Ooh, this table's already full. This is gonna be difficult. Why are you covered in bruises? Ooh.
To $5.
Yeah, no, we went over that way, but we didn't go down that way.
Unfortunately hit a dead end. I have a bunch of good height pieces at the house that will help me kind of like do something very similar to the rest of the shelves that I did on this top shelf. I really like how this turned out. Now it's to a point where like I have a lot of stuff that's all very similar height or like really small. And what I think really makes this more dynamic is that we have things that we can stack stuff on. So I think what I'm learning is if I build like things at an angle and then fill in where those angles are, it helps build a in-depth display, if you will. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is go home and clean those pieces up and just price them. I've been avoiding it, but that's okay. I need to edit as well. So I'll see y'all tomorrow with the new pieces. Trying to get back into it. Where the heck did the top of this go? Did someone steal that? Anyways, haven't been back in for a couple days. We've had some sales though. That pine bench that I had right here sold. That was a good sale. I sold some really pretty carved panels over here on the wall, and along with just some small things, and of course clothing. Oh, and that RC Cola thermometer that I just brought in. Not too bad. Probably some of the better sales that I've had recently. Since I've sold some wall art, I need to hang some things up on the walls behind the shelves as well. I brought in a bunch of stuff that I priced over the weekend. I had wanted to bring in more medium-sized pieces because they're great for stacking within a display and a vignette. Also brought in this really wonderful twisted oak coat rack that I think I'm gonna switch out for a mannequin that's up front and bring the mannequin back here. I'm gonna put my headphones on and just lock in and get some of this major work done. pulling inspiration from Emily's booth and hanging the sewing machine cover on the wall. I think I'll make for a really cool shadow box experience. I'm sure I'm gonna have stuff that I can put in there, but we need to get back to work on styling this wall over here along with that last shelf on the bottom. Some negatives. More negatives. Oh, here's actual photos. The question is do I like want to take a bunch of them and put them like in bundles in like a small pack and sell the pack? Or do I want to price them individually? I feel like they'll sell better as bundles, you know? So like have this size. Maybe I could just like put a whole stack in. What do you think, like 10? I might just keep this whole group together. Like that, right? Maybe we should just do that with the negatives so people can see them too. That? I don't know. We're gonna see if that if that does anything. We'll do 3 packs of negatives and like 3 packs of just antique photos. Can I tell you guys a like super irrational fear? of mine. So the reason why I'm doing these photos here instead of back at the house is because I worry that they're haunted and I don't want to open them at the house where the spirits could get out and haunt my house. Look, I know that's not a rational thought. It's very irrational. I get that. But those are the things that pop through my head, and just to be safe rather than sorry, I just brought them in today to do it here. And it gives me a chance to just sit and say hi to people. 3 of those, and I just opened this up and I saw that there's more photos in here. I put this all together in one. It is Labor Day. We're about a month and a half out from the official end of the reset. I have not been back in here since then, except for to pay rent. Over the past month and a half, it's been all about the smalls. I don't know if you can tell, but looking around, I've sold mostly wall art, a lot of wall art. I've sold both of my lamps that I had in here, or the set of wicker lamps that I had, along with the repurposed wind beam lamp that I had sitting over here. So I brought in a few things to help just restock the space. A lot of clothing is sold. Not a single photo has sold. You know, I thought I had them at a really reasonable price, and I probably still do. They're probably just hidden back there. Maybe I'll reconsider how I have those displayed. Maybe put a few out on the tables where they're really easy to see and grab. Now that we're past 4th of July, I still really like this, and I think I'm gonna keep it up until I do some kind of fall shift. I really struggle with seasonal displays, and let's all be honest, getting them in time. I think adding accents is just more doable for me versus coming in and doing like a whole theme. So maybe small mini collections. I feel like we were bordering on a mini collection here, but I think we could have gone maybe even a little smaller. I can tell people have just been hanging out in these chairs. I mean, they're pulled out from the wall, the pillows are flattened. Now that power outage that we had, what the heck was that? It was just a power surge coming through. It hit Starbucks out in the front as well. I think I was just a little floored with how dark it got in here, especially when I had everything off the walls like I did. I mean, this is a bright white space, and so the fact that it didn't reflect any light, not even like a day after we hung that shelf and that little tool tray in Emily's booth did she get word that another space actually had opened up, and it's actually directly diagonal from mine. Anybody that is coming by the booth, as you walk in, you're gonna have to pass her space before you can get to my space. And in case nobody saw that note, like, no one panic. I had an acupuncture appointment and cupping. Look into it to see if it's right for you first, obviously. But for me, I have now had 3 appointments, and they have been incredibly helpful with just maintaining my back. I feel like I'm standing a little taller, my posture's better, and I have done chiropractic work, deep massage. I'm gonna make a bold claim, but I think out of the things that I've done, acupuncture has been the most helpful. I'm sure I'm gonna get some comments saying, you took way too long to put this together, you need to be faster, you need to get stuff in quicker, you're taking up too much valuable shopping time. And I would agree. I wouldn't say that I'm probably the best person to follow or take advice from when it comes to booth resets and getting it done with haste. I love to do this. And so even though I also get frustrated when it takes longer than I want it to, I wouldn't change it for anything. And just to drive the point home about probably not being the best person to take advice from as far as like the business aspect of this industry goes, I still have not ordered business cards. Order freaking business cards, Amanda Grace. Okay, I've written it down. Really need to get to putting this space back together. People are trying to shop it, and I am just in the way. And so as I do that, what is your irrational fear? I shared mine, or one of mine. And now I think it's only polite that you share one of yours. Are you scared of ghosts, or sharks in pools, or spiders crawling into your mouth at night? Let me know in the comments down below.